Breakfast with me, David Bull. Thank you very much indeed for your messages and your comments. We are in the middle of the paper review. Dr. Rennie Hunderkamp is with me and Emma Wolf. Good to see both of you. Thank you very much indeed for sticking around. Right, we've got to crack through some papers.
Yeah, so Sunday Telegraph, £10 fine for an NHS no-show, says Rishi Sunak. So this is another sort of, scraping the bottom of the barrel idea, policy idea, because he was told he needs to come up with ideas. Rishi Sunak is actually saying something vaguely interesting, which is, rather than just pouring money into the NHS, he wants to reform it. He wants to be a transformational Prime Minister. Fair enough.
He's read my policy book.
He has, exactly. No, fair enough. But he's also... So this is his big idea, is that you get £10 fine when you don't show up to your NHS appointment. I know you guys have been talking about this already. First one, you get a sort of, benefit of the doubt. Smack on the bottom. And then after that, you get this fine. But then the fine turns out to be temporary. It's just to sort out the COVID mess. So that's a bit weird. If you're going to introduce a sanction like that, let's keep it. Let's make people serious about it. It's temporary. And I'm just not sure it's going to work. But it's an important issue. 15 million GP appointments were missed in the past. I think that's in the past year. But I mean, how do you get a GP appointment? So they tell the entire...
Well, that's a very good question.
They tell the entire country to call in at 8 a.m. Is it just me, or is it 8 a.m.?
No, it's a lot of us.
Mainly. 60, 70 million of us, or however many, are trying to call in at 8 a.m. Already, I've sensed a problem here. So it's very difficult to get...
How surprising.
I mean, maybe do it by, I don't know, surname or something. There must be a better way of
But the whole
dealing.
thing is ridiculous, and when you deal with big NHS clinics, you can book online, and all of that IT is possible. Now, none of this makes any sense at all, and of course, saying this, yes, of course, it is a sort of a very simple policy, but actually the one thing I do like about it, we talked about it, is a value proposition. People then realise it's not free.
Yeah.
And that is good, but maybe it should be. If you don't turn up 3 times, you're out. I don't know. There are other things you need to talk about. I know you don't like that.
Well, you can't, can you? Because people get sick at points in their life. What worries me about this with Rishi is, if this is his big idea for the NHS, then the NHS is stuffed. It really is.
Yeah.
And the problem with sanctions like this is they affect disproportionately. They affect older people. They affect people who are struggling anyway with chaotic lives, chaotic families, too many kids, whatever, that kind of thing. I hate to say it, but it will. You talk about booking online. Older, weaker, sicker, poorer people can't book online. This is not... And there's also interesting research which shows that when you put in these fines, like an Israeli nursery where they put in £10 fines, if you collected your child late, people used it as a reason... Oh, I can collect my child late and I'll pay my £10 fine.
Oh, so the problem... cheap babysitting.
I would have needed a mortgage to actually collect my child from there.
But it made you feel that, okay, well, I've paid so I can turn up late. The problem with this is richer people may think, okay, well, I'll just pay the £10 fine. Poorer people may think, I can't pay the fines. Then they stop engaging with GP services. So there are a lot of deeper problems with a policy like this.
It will disproportionately affect the people who most need to engage with medicine.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on now to the Sunday Times.
Sunday Times, we have Prince Charles in hot water again. I mean, this is quite a silly billy. He has... Am I okay to talk about Sunday Times?
What's he done now?
What's he done? He's accepted £1 million from the family, from the 2 half-brothers. I mean, there are lots of half-brothers, to be fair. There are about 27 half-brothers. One of the 2 half-brothers of Osama bin Laden.
What?
Another £1 million donation. His advisors at Clarence House were saying, don't do this. This is a bad idea. He accepted the money for his charitable foundation. This was in 2013, which is 2 years after Osama bin Laden was assassinated in Pakistan. So it's not as though he didn't realise who the bin Ladens were. Osama bin Laden was the founder of Al-Qaeda and masterminded the September 11th attacks. I don't know what Prince Charles doesn't understand about this, but it's really, really alarming.
I'm totally shocked.
Yeah, and he was warned.
Does this not just show once again that these people just think they are above critique? They are above what we think. We're just the little people, and it doesn't matter.
But he must have had advisors saying, do not take this.
Quite strongly saying to him, really, you don't accept this money from the bin Laden
So
family.
why did he do it?
You tell me.
I can't. I mean, I
get Prince Charles
it's not a sane and rational decision.
It's not at all, but several of his, they pleaded with him, several of his advisors pleaded with him in person to return the money. So even after he took money, and there's no question that he was, using it for a jolly. He's very dedicated to his charitable foundation, and we know that the money goes to that. But you remember a few weeks ago, we were talking here about these bags
of cash.
Plastic bags from Fortnum and Mason, with money in that the prince accepted, not his aides or his gophers or anything, his was accepting money in suitcases and plastic bags.
I mean, it's so
Something that he
frightening
doesn't get.
when he is going to be the next monarch. I do wonder about his judgment. And given the Queen, I think, has an exemplary record.
Yes.
You know, she really has, and she's put duty above everything else. And Prince Charles, whilst I like him, he does go off on one, doesn't he?
He does
You
go
just
off
never
on
quite
one.
know what he's going to do.
And there seems to be a crucial part that's not plugged in or something. Because, no, but we all know the Bin Ladens, you just don't go near Bin Laden money, you just don't go near dirty cash like that.
No. Also in that paper, something about Liz Truss, her promise about Oxbridge.
Yeah, I know, this is a ridiculous. Liz Truss is promising that every pupil who gets 3 A stars, and there are a lot of them, will get an Oxbridge interview. 13,000 pupils last year got 3 A stars for their A levels. I don't know what admissions tutors are thinking right now at Oxford and Cambridge. I also think it does down all the other really excellent universities out there. And, you know, I went to Oxford, I think it's a great place, but I also know that lots of people go to other places for really good reasons, for design and technology courses, for business courses that are brilliant at other universities. This is ludicrous.
I quite liked it in some ways, in that what I do think we need to do is to ensure that the best people go to the best places. We need more places, we need to train more doctors. So I think having that debate is good, but obviously it doesn't work.
She wants to be the education prime minister. She wants to talk about aspiration and opportunity and all of that, which is great.
It is, and I do think she's saying some interesting stuff about education, because there is a bill at the moment that is going through, it's emanating from the Lords, it's on its second reading, about education. And actually this bill is so tight that it's going to shut down things like free schools and grammar schools. It's going to make all education the same, because there are rules about all free schools have to be in a state building, they can't be in a church. So it's going to shut down new faith schools, for example. And lots of faith schools are absolutely excellent.
They are.
So actually, if Liz Truss is going to expand education and open up so that all schools are brilliant, is she going to shut down the education bill? That's what I want her to answer.
That's really interesting as well.
Yeah,
but this doesn't help those pupils who need that equality and opportunity, who aren't getting 3 A stars but are brilliant anyway, who come from state schools, who maybe get a couple of Bs.
But academic grades aren't everything anyway.
Of course they're not,
and of course, you see, back in my day, and particularly when I applied to med school, it wasn't necessarily about your grades. It was about you as a person. What sort of person could you make a good doctor, for example? And I think we've lost all of that, and everyone's obsessed with academic grades. But academics don't necessarily make good doctors.
Yeah, so if they liked you at your medical school interview, you'd get an offer of 3 Bs.
You would.
Whereas if they didn't think you were so brilliant, you'd get 3 As.
Well, one of my offers was 2 Bs and a D.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
I don't.
He smashed it.
No, I've made it up. I faked it. No, of course I got it. In fact, I did better than that, but I won't go on.
Let's not talk about our A-level results.
And then very quickly, apparently we're going to have a sizzling summer.
Oh, this is lovely, right? So Daily Star says, hot as hell. This sizzling summer is going to last until Halloween.
Yay!
I mean, that's crazy.
But
that's the end of October.
Is it going to be sunny or just like really cloudy and muggy?
No, I think it's going to be hot. I think it's going to be hot. Look, front
If
page
I
of
don't need to
the
heat
Star.
my house, that's a good thing.
Well, I think most people will think that, actually, if we don't have to heat our houses.
Yeah, exactly. It'll help with your bills. It's got a picture of a
I need
skeleton.
new swimwear.
Skeleton on a deck chair.
It's a brilliant front page. I loved that front page.
I haven't seen it, actually.
Hot as hell. It's a classic Daily Star.
It really is. Oh, well, so that's very exciting, something to look forward to. And also, with the cost of living, you then don't have to pay money to go abroad.
Exactly.
And actually, this country in the
You can't
summer...
travel anywhere, so, you know.
One does feel that this will be used as a club to club us about climate change. Do you
Oh,
not?
I see. Yes, I do. I do.
This is only happening because of climate change.
And of course, yesterday we spoke a lot about this, because obviously there's sort of clear blue water between many candidates saying we need to suspend green levies. Of course, the fact is we've got an energy gap and we need to do something about it. And we heard from all the climate people saying, no, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Exactly.
And I made the mistake of saying most people actually want to get to net zero. And I was told quite firmly by TalkTV viewers, that wasn't true.
I don't think you're right.
No.
I think most people don't care about this at the moment. They care about other things in their life, which are now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, both of you. Thank you very much indeed, Emma. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for coming in. After the break, we'll be taking some of your calls, your messages. I can see the switchboard is lighting up like the proverbial Christmas tree. This is Talk TV. We're broadcasting live from the Talk Radio studios.